Welcome back to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm your host, John, back with my bestie, Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired, as you notice.
I like how we're just going to pretend we haven't been talking for the last 45 minutes. So it's
I'm
so
glad you
it's
hit
good.
record.
I know. I know. For everyone listening, you guys missed a hell of a conversation that we're not going to reference at all. So good luck.
Ooh.
Maybe someday we will, but it was fun. But tonight we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Questions from listeners. We got some new shoes to review.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and just catch up on life, and I even have a surprise question for you. So,
Okay.
where do you wanna start? Where do we wanna go with all this?
I want to hear about your shoe review. I'm
Oh,
dying to
I
hear
I
about
have it
it.
right here too. I know
Let me
people are
see.
listening and not watching. Look how white these things are.
What?
These things are so white, they listen to Jason Aldean and married their cousin. That's so look at these things and all right, here's the review. These are the new
Wait. What
RAD
are they? Yeah, the new rads. Got it.
the new RAD I honestly don't know what they're called. RS1s, maybe? RN1s? Sorry, Rad. I should have looked this up before I got on your show on their show, but,
Are they the runners or the trainers?
yes, they're new runners,
Cool.
and I've been wearing the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080s
1080s
since
are the
yeah,
classic long distance shoe.
yeah. I've been wearing those since High Rocks to run in.
Hmm.
Somebody turned me on to them. I had not worn a running shoe in 6 or 7 years, and I'm like, "What are these little pillows on my feet? This is
So
amazing."
nice.
Yeah, and I've been wearing them everywhere to run in, and they're great. And so Rad came out with these. I'm like, all right, well, I love Rad, so I'll give them a shot. So I'll talk about the padding first. And I don't know any of the details of what this shit's made from. Like, I literally just got them today. I'm just going to tell you how they feel. All right.
If you want a more specific technical
Yeah.
review, I'm sure Joel at some point will do one as many
Yes.
reviews as possible. You should go and follow him. But this is a John special.
Yes. These are the R1s. It says right on the front of the shoe. They're just comfortable as all get out. So I ran in them today. I did Laredo, which is 6 rounds of 400-meter running and then 3 different bodyweight movements, 24 reps
Hmm.
each. Super comfortable in the run.
Impressed.
Better than the New Balance.
No way.
Yes.
For
So
real?
yes. I was shocked because Rad's their first attempt at a running shoe, and I'm like, "All right, well, the padding won't be as good or they won't be
Hmm,
as
hmm.
comfortable or bouncy or however you wanna describe a running shoe." And it was all of that. Now, I was on an assault runner, so I've not done a road run yet, but assault runners they're not easy, to
No,
say the least,
no,
and
they
you're
are
actually
not.
running at least the way I do assault run, I'm running longer than I would if I were out on the road, and from that aspect, the padding was great, the toe box is wide. They don't look wide when you just, like, visually look at them. You know how a Reebok Nano looks wide?
For sure. Yep.
Yeah, they don't look like that. No, they don't look as narrow as, like, a Metcon or something, and you can see here, right?
Yeah.
They have a good shoe angle, but my toes splayed, is that a word? They splayed
That
out,
is the
yeah.
word. Yep.
Is
Yep.
it?
That's
Okay.
what you want.
Yeah, they weren't all cramped together like a
Hmm.
ballerina, and,
Why my feet are so fucked. Truly.
yeah, exactly, and they're super light. I don't know what they weigh, but comparatively, I was surprised at how light they are because I think the normal Rad trainers are pretty heavy.
They are. Yeah. That's Matt's only
Yeah.
like real complaint about them.
Yeah, and I like that in the trainers. The trainers are like I weighed them once, and I wanna say they're like 12 or 13 ounces, and I like that because they keep you stable in the lifts, and they're super flat, and they have a little bit of a heel so you can run on 'em. Um, but they're not great for running. This was great for running. Obviously, I did not do any lifting. I did air squats and lunges and push-ups, which the shoes don't really matter in that case.
Hmm.
But they were great for the lunges and the air squats. I mean, they're body weight movements, but I was not tipping forward,
Yep.
which is always a concern. And yeah, big fan already. And they're shockingly white. They made my legs look tan, which is a monster advantage for me. I liked that. I like that a lot.
I I love a white sneaker, like a crisp. That's right. I love it. It's perfect.
You probably can't really tell because of the light I have on it, but they're actually 2 different color whites.
Yeah, the bottom's almost like a creamier
Yeah, yeah. So
beigeur.
yeah, so the entire bottom and then around the tongue and parts of the tongue are like a heavy cream color. They're still white. It's still white, like a whitish cream, and then the upper is like shocking white.
Love that.
and almost like
They're like they're like New Balance dad shoes, but cool.
I know, I thought that too. As soon as I opened the box, I'm like, "Did I just buy dad shoes? Where are my tongs?" And
Pull the lawnmower, honey.
yeah, but then I put them on and they don't look like dad shoes.
No, yeah, they
Yeah, I
look
was like,
way cooler.
I was like, "These look pretty good." I'm gonna be wearing these in Madison for sure. They're good.
Ooh. Do you see I don't know if you can see this. This is cut this for the audio podcast, I guess, but this
Mhm.
really cool shirt that I'm wearing that looks kind of
Yeah,
like a sneaker,
windrows.
but it says CrossFit
Yeah.
Windrose on it.
Yep.
It's our run club shirt because I have a road race on Friday.
Ooh, how far are you running?
Yeah, 10 miles.
Oh, that's about 7 miles too far.
I know. I know. You know what sucks? I don't know when the show is going to air, but I so this road race, it's a 10 miler. It's always the weekend of my birthday. I've done it a million times in Rhode Island here. It's called the Blessing of the Fleet. It's down like by the water. It's really lovely and beautiful. And the people come out on their front lawns and hand you pickles and water and shots of Jaeger. It's a really fun race. And I've done it a bunch of times. I haven't done it since before I was pregnant. And we had a run club put together at the gym this year, and everyone's been running together on Sundays. Not me, but I've been doing the runs. I've been doing the
Right.
distances and shit on my own. And then I'll tell you what, this last month has just not been like the fitness month that I wanted. I had a couple injuries that made it so I couldn't really work out very intensely for about 2 weeks. And then I had hand, foot, mouth, the viral version, not the
Right.
like body sores version, just the like respiratory virus version for a week. And I was really doing good. I was on a good clip of running. I was getting really prepared with the team. And now I'm like, not ready. And it's coming. And it will be 90 degrees on Friday. Help me.
Ugh.
Help.
And that extra I've when I ran a lot, I used to keep track of the temp and what that did to run miles, and I'm sure someone can come in the comments and tell us exactly what it does, but every 5 degrees knocks, like, 30 seconds off your time, your average time.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
if your, like, baseline is 70 degrees, right? So you get to 75, you lose this amount of time, you go to 80 and so on. So
Yeah, it's going to be.
90 will cripple you for sure.
I just think it has to be a run walk. Like I went from training for a 10-mile run to training for a 10-mile run walk because
Yep.
just for safety purposes, I think you
Oh,
can't risk like overheating in that way. So
if it were
it'll
me
be fine.
If it were me, I wouldn't do it. No, if it were me, I would yeah, I when I used to train for running, I would do run walk a lot. I'd do 3 minutes on, 1 minute off. So I'd run for 3, walk for 1, and do it in
Yeah.
4-minute increments
Yeah.
or 5 and 1, that way 6-minute increments, and then it becomes 10 rounds every hour.
Yep. Yep. When
Uh,
I ran the marathon, the New York City Marathon in 2017, I walked through every third water station. So they were every mile. So every 3 miles, I walked for however long it took me to pick up my cup, drink it, and then crush it and throw it.
right.
And so what? Less than a minute, 45
Yep,
seconds or so. And that was enough to sort of stop any crazy like knee aches or hip aches or back aches until the very end. Like I think from miles 22 to 26, you do nothing but hurt no matter what,
right,
no matter how you've
right.
trained or how many times you've stopped and stretched. But it keeps pretty much everything at bay. So I feel like a brisk walk every 20 to 30 minutes and I should be good to get through the 10. But I'm just nervous, man. I'm not feeling very fit right now. And the last couple training runs that I did, like 6 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles this yesterday, did not feel
Right.
good. I was like, shit. Shit. Well, I do 7 of these miles. Don't
Oh, I've been doing a pretty decent amount of running. I've been doing run club on Sundays, and last Sunday, we went for it was like a 4-mile run, and at some point at the 3-mile mark, we got to an actual track, and we were gonna do stair runs, so we did, like, 8 stair runs, and then we did a lap, and then one of the geniuses goes, "Hey, let's do a 400-meter walking lunge." And
mm,
because I'm yeah, exactly, and because I've done it before, so I know better, but I also have trouble saying no, so I'm like, "Okay." And so my ass is sore today because I did 400-meter walking lunge on Sunday, and my damn smartphone or smartwatch, I have this Apple Ultra. About every 30 seconds, it'd be like, "I think you're done with your workout. Are we finished?" And I'd have to go, And well,
No.
here's the yeah, so here's the crazy thing, so I'd have to keep hitting dismiss. When I got back to the gym, I looked at the stats, and it gave because I did that walking lunge and the stair run in the middle of this long run, it gave me the craziest stats you've ever seen. It was like, "You averaged a 17-minute mile, but your average heart rate was 146." And I'm like,
You sir, you're so out of shape. We're worried about you.
"I know, I'm lucky Apple didn't call 911." Like, it
It's like a wellness check at your house just in case.
yeah. This guy's basically walking down the street and he's having a heart attack. Could you please go check on him? That's what they
So
thought.
someone please help.
I'm like, "No, lunges are hard. They suck." Oh, and I was drenched too. When it was done, I looked like somebody just poured a bucket of water over my head.
Mhm.
So bad. So bad. So
Sucks.
I'll do it again this Sunday in the new rads. Great.
Perfect. Perfect. You should come here and do the race with me.
No. No, no, no. I'm
Mm,
well, I'm already traveling to I'd actually could probably be talked into that if I wasn't already going to Madison. I didn't already have,
right, like a couple
money laid
days
out.
later.
Yeah. Yeah,
But you could
exactly.
just stay here. I got it all worked out. You come here, you do the race. You stay here for the weekend. We fly to Madison together next week. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
that what all sounds great, except then I wouldn't have my Jeep and it I have a job, like an actual job that pays
Uh,
me, unlike this thing. So,
you already have tickets booked. So maybe we could change your ticket and
mhm,
Hunter's the lap infant for my ticket. Maybe we could
right?
make you the lap ticket for Matt's ticket. You could just sit in his
Maybe.
lap the whole
I'll
time.
s well, I would have sat in Matt's lap anyway,
I
so
know.
that would have been fine.
For free.
I know. You wanna hear something funny that I read tonight? I occasionally make the mistake of going on Reddit every once in a
Mm-mm.
while. I actually kinda like it. It's fun. Like,
Yeah, it is. I do like it for certain things.
yeah, I like it because it makes me laugh, and anytime there's a question of what CrossFit podcast should I listen to, I always of course, I'm gonna look because 'cause I've got an ego, and I wa I wanna see what people are gonna say about us, and I gotta find this comment somebody
Oh
said
my
about us
God,
'cause it
I'm nervous.
yeah, it actually made me laugh, though. Oh my god, where is it? I don't know, it's oh, here it is, let's see. Well, there are a couple. There's one that says, "I can't listen to Kettlebells Cocktails anymore. I found their banter," which is in quotes, "annoying." First of all, it's actual banter. You don't have to put it in quotes. It's actually
Eh,
banter. So
that's
so
fine.
whatever.
We
Yeah,
taint for everyone.
yeah. No, anyway, I can't find the actual quote, but anyway, some guy said he quite literally said he'd rather listen to a fat girl fart for 3 hours than listen to our show. And and I said, "Well, what I wanted to do is quote say, well, good news, Nikki's gonna be pregnant at some point, so we may actually air that episode. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be
I would
great."
charge big money for that kind of audio. Okay. It's not every day that you get to hear fat pregnant ladies farting. And if they do, offer it.
I
It should
know.
be minimum 2 G's.
Well, he said for 3 hours. I'm like, "Our episodes are always an hour or less, so,
Mm.
you sound like you're just being too critical, I guess." I don't know.
I actually really appreciate that comment. If you're going to put it out there how much you hate listening to us, you might as well make it hilarious.
I know. I hate to call the guy out on the air like this, but he obviously isn't listening, so who gives a
So
shit?
it's fine.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Anyway, hey,
It's a
we
good
got
one.
some yeah, that was a great one. We did get some questions from listeners today,
Ah,
if you wanna go through
yes.
some of them.
I
Some of
do.
them here's one I thought was interesting. I'm not even gonna give the name of who gave them because it's Instagram names are too hard to figure out for me sometimes. How do you classify yourself as an athlete?
Oh god. Well, I suppose in 4 days' time, I'll classify myself as a master. Ooh.
Yes.
The dark side. I'm coming. It's tough. That is a question of perception because personally, like I've gone through a lot of different athletic phases, right? There was a time pre CrossFit where I was a very different type of athlete, where I was a dancer. There was a time within CrossFit where I think I was really fit and strong and considered myself a competitor and did a lot of competitions. There was a time where I was just my body was not mine and it's still partially not, right? I'm still nursing. So it's hard to do all the same things athletically that I did when I had more time, effort, energy, and my body to myself to dedicate to CrossFit. But then there's also this perspective that you need to give a question like that where I might not be at the top of the leaderboard in my gym every single day, but what about relative to the world? Relative to
Right.
most average folks my age, I think they'd probably consider me pretty fit. So I think if I had to just take all of that into consideration if I had to classify myself as an athlete, I'd say intermediate, moderately fit
Moderately fit.
CrossFitter. Does that does that hold up?
Yeah, I think it holds up. I always struggle with the people are so specific about RX or scaled. I think
Oh,
intermediate
is that
is
what
where
that question means?
not necessarily, but I think very few people are willing to put themselves as intermediate, which is more in the middle. I think a lot of people are like they're either really hard on themselves in the sport and they say, "Oh, I'm terrible at it, so I'm scaled," or they're a shirts off ego person and they're like, "Oh, I'm RX. I'm all in all the time."
Right. Yeah.
And
I I'm not either of those things for real. I think I'd probably say I'm like 85% of the time can RX things that are on the board, but I think all of us struggle with like high skill stuff. All of us struggle with
right,
like insane giant heavy weights. All of us struggle with hero workouts. Like we all struggle with the same types of things. And even gym to gym, those standards vary. So it's
right.
difficult to use that, I feel like, as a benchmark. But I have no problem entering the gym and tackling the workout of the day in a way that is best for me,
Yeah, I get
for
that.
sure.
I've struggled recently with my place of where I am with as an athlete only because I'm training with people that are way fitter than me,
Mhm.
and so I'm losing perspective
Mm.
on how how I'm doing versus kind of my subset age group, masters athletes, however you want to view it.
Mhm.
Um, and because I'm getting smoked by really fit people, but I'm still doing well. So
Mhm.
I'll lose like we've been doing these hero wads every Saturday or every Friday, and they're really hard. And most of them are 30 to 50 minutes long, depending on your fitness and whether or not you're RXing them. And I kind of work out with the same group every week. And this one woman, Carissa, she's about the fittest 40-year-old mom I know. Like she's stupid fit. I'm convinced she could go to High Rocks and win right now.
Mm.
I keep trying to talk her into going and do one because I'm positive she
Yeah.
would go in and make a splash. And she'll beat me in these hero wads by a full lap. They're 4 to 6 rounds usually, and she'll always beat me by at least a full round, in some cases 10, 15 minutes. And then I'll post my time and people in my age group will be like, "Wow, that was really fast." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, Chris had gone home and changed and came back with coffee by the time I was done. So I tend to lose perspective on how I'm doing, but the one thing I have classified myself as recently or really like kinda in the last year is someone who's just training. Like I quit focusing on scaled and RX and even intermediate. And like every day when I go in now, it's like I'm no longer racing. I'm just training. That's it.
Mhm.
And man, you talk about a stress reliever. You know, when you're no longer trying to beat the person next to you every single time you walk in the door, it made a big difference for me. So
Yeah.
that was a long story to say I'm RX, but
Yeah.
it
Duh.
that is
I think that's really interesting because I love what CrossFit does to us in the sense that it it pushes you to have a little bit of competitive fire within yourself, not necessarily to beat the person next to you, but it's a really lovely way of looking at it, saying like that person who's lapping me, I don't need
right.
to beat them, but that sure as shit is motion for me to keep going. You know what I mean? It's not like I
Yep.
need to beat them or I mean, sometimes it is nice to have that push. Sometimes when you're neck and neck with someone, the motivation you might need in that moment is I would like to finish first. But even if it's not, even if you've taken that specific type of pressure off of your plate, it is absolutely motivating to be like, well, they didn't stop, so maybe I shouldn't stop or they're moving fast,
Yep.
so I should keep going. Like that type of comparative motivation doesn't go away and I think is what honestly it helps me show up
Yeah.
because I
Well,
need some serious motivation to show up sometimes.
trust me, that's the argument for going to group classes is you work harder. Like I
Mhm.
trained at home today, which I did Laredo, and it was nowhere near my peak Laredo time. Now I was on assault runner, so that changed it quite a bit. But even if I subtracted the extra time it takes to do 400 meters on assault runner, it still wasn't near. And the reason it wasn't is I'd get off that run, I'd walk over and I'd grab a sip of water, I'd make a little loop back over to where I was doing air squats, and I'm like lollygagging a little bit. And I'm still sweating my ass off. My heart rate's pretty high, but it's not the same
Mhm.
as when you're out there with your friends,
Yeah.
training partners.
Well, I think it's really interesting too. Like we always say that you don't want to be the fittest one in the room, right? Like you want someone to chase or you want someone to motivate you or you want someone to inspire you, whatever it is. Like we always say that. But I do think that there needs to be a little bit of balance in that
Mm,
like you need some wins too,
right,
John. Like you can't just be working out with people every single day that lap you on everything that you do. It's just that is a little bit not motivating in addition to losing that perspective. So when you train by yourself in your house, in your basement, give yourself something that you know you're good at so that you can feel a win or something that you like to do or something that, I don't know, just makes you feel fit in a
oh,
different way.
I almost always only do things I like to do when I'm home.
Perfect.
Trust
That
me.
balance is important.
Yeah, the basement workouts, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I did one a few days ago, it was a full 60 minutes, and I was smoked when it was done, but every movement in that thing was curated, man. I knew I wasn't gonna pick anything that I absolutely hated, and by the time it was done, I was like, "Oh, man, I overestimated how much I like that movement because it sucks doing it that long."
Right, right.
Mm.
In air quotes.
Yeah, you kinda you learn from that experience, but
Yeah.
I
'Cause
like going to the affiliate because I get pushed to not only work harder around others, but they make me do things I don't like to do, and the coaches yell at me just like anybody else. They don't give a shit. They're like, "Your cleans suck." I'm like, "I know they suck. Quit yelling at
I'm
me."
so sorry.
Yeah. "Sorry, I'm
I guess
embarrassing you."
that that balance is just really important, I feel. And
Yep.
I like feel like right now in my life, I'm very equal parts accepting this season of life for what it is and the type of fitness that I can do in the time that I have, in the motivation that I have, in the capabilities that I have in this physical body. I'm equal parts that and oh, this is a really good workout for me. I'm gonna fucking crush it and get to the very
Yeah.
top of the leaderboard, or at least I'm gonna beat Matt in this because he's
Hmm.
hard to beat. And every so often I can
Right.
get him, and when I do, I'm like, eh.
Well, and I like what you're doing where you're going out and you're doing a run club on the side and you're running a race. I think it's important for people to find other motivating factors besides just training. Like, I love going to the gym. I love seeing my friends, but I don't care who you are. That shit gets old
Mhm,
over time if you're not
yeah,
working towards something. And I had a coach say that to me once. They're like, "What are you training for?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Why? Why would I train for anything?" They're like, "Why are you coming here?" They were dead serious. And I'm like, "I don't know. I want to be fit. I want to look good naked." They're like, "What are you
yeah,
training for? Train for something. Anything. And even if it's to look good naked, be convinced that's what it is, but train for something." I never lost that after that. And since then, I've always set goals for myself, usually, 60 to 90 days out. It's not always an event. It's not always a run or Wadapalooza or one of those things. Sometimes it is, hey, when August comes around, I want to be able to take my shirt off. Or what
yeah,
I do want to right now, it's I want to look good in photos in Madison. That's a goal. So I'm kind of nuancing my diet a little bit and making sure my workouts are structured around that properly. And I just think it's good for you to have short term, long term goals like that. Keep you
yeah.
motivated.
Fully agree.
All right. Next question. Good discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one. I like this one. It says, "No question. You're hot as fuck. I love the podcast." I like that. It's a good question.
That was an excellent comment.
I
I think
know.
more like that, please.
They must have been talking about you. That's all I can figure.
Mm, I
It
don't know. It
wasn't.
went straight to your page. Did they
Yeah.
ask if you're single as a Pringle?
No, they did not. They did not ask that. Here's a good one. If you guys didn't have the current jobs you have, what would you be doing? Do you have a job you'd
That's
rather do than the one you
interesting.
have? I mean, you own your own business, so it's a little different for you. But if money were no object and the Brazier Farm were free,
If the Brazier farm were free, oh my God, I would be full-time farmhand. That would be
would you?
so fun. Hell yeah. If I didn't have to work and I could just tend to the farm and hang out with my kid and buy cute shit at TJ Maxx, fuck yeah. I
How many
would do
chickens do you
that.
have right now?
We've 10.
10 chickens? Do you have any
Yeah.
roosters? Do you?
No, we're not allowed. And also, I don't want more than 10, so I don't have a rooster.
Oh, wow. Do you have any other animals right? Did you guys ever get goats? I know you mentioned you were going to get goats.
No, it's part of the long-term plan. We wanna do raise a barn in the back and do 2 goats and 2 alpacas that I really want 2 boys, but I really wanna name 1 Pack and 1 Mrs. Pac-Man, even though they're
Oh,
both boys.
I love it.
I really wanna do that. No, I if I had to pick another career and something that, like, I'm really, really passionate about, I think I would work it somewhere in the LGBTQA+ community. I think I would that's, like, something that I've always been, like, so incredibly passionate about, and did a lot of work on the side volunteering when, like, same-sex marriage was first kind of, like, on the table and trying to be pushed in certain states and stuff, and I think I would well with my communication background helping out with legislation or pushing legislation or just figuring out how to make things more equal for that community. And if I could pick another career, it would be fighting for those rights, I think, somehow. I don't know exactly how, but somehow.
Well, it doesn't matter what career I pick now, I'm just gonna sound like an asshole, so
Sorry. I mean, just I was just thinking about if it was really anything that I was passionate about, that's where I would find work, I think. But did you just wanna be like a shoemaker or something?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would do. I'm not sure I have a ton of things I'm, like, crazy passionate. I mean, clearly, I have a lot of hobbies I like guitar
Sure, yeah.
and fitness or
Would you ever
whatever.
be a professional musician? Would that
No.
ever be like why?
Well, for one, I'm not talented enough, not even in the ballpark, and, I don't know, it's funny, I was just having this conversation who was I talking to about this week? I had a long my tattoo guy. I was getting my tattoo shaded, and we were listening to Spotify, and it was an AI DJ, which was weird because he had, like, an ethnic voice. I'm like, "Why is this AI kinda racist?" This is bizarre to me. I don't understand, like, why do you have to give it a specific sounding voice? Very weird.
They probably got a real DJ's voice in the system because you can do that with AI. Oh, you know that
Right.
because you've been
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
working with the editing software. They probably got someone's real life voice and got the rights to it and then AI'd the shit out of it in order to do that. That's
Yeah,
probably why.
maybe. Yeah, see, that makes a lot of sense because 'cause I'm like, "Man, like, why'd they pick this voice? Why didn't they pick, like, a hillbilly white voice like mine or, like, whatever?" I don't know, like, it's very weird.
Mm.
Anyway, so we were talking about what would happen if money were no what would happen to society if money were no option or
Mm.
no big deal, and my contention was I'd like to believe the arts would be huge. You know, I'd like to believe there's a ton of people that would want to provide art. And there's plenty of people like myself that don't do music because there's literally no money in it unless you're just an absolute superstar. There's no money in songwriting anymore. The only money there is in touring, and who the hell wants to tour 300 days out of the year?
Right.
So it would be nice to be able to be a musician, but starved to death. I don't know. I'm probably along the same lines as you. I'd love to stay in fitness. I mean, if it's not going to be my full-time job because my full-time job's pretty damn good, but I'd probably stay in fitness in some capacity and help people. Like I really love teaching.
Mm.
I'm not a coach at the gym for the record. Like I don't have my L1, but I do love teaching and giving people advice and helping them get better. I like watching people improve. I like problem solving, and those are all things that happen in a gym. So I could see myself wanting to do that, and it's kind of an exit strategy for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've kinda always thought that, I don't know, maybe I'll tap I'm 52, maybe I'll tap out of banking at 58. Girls will be out of college by then. That'd be obviously several years earlier than I wanted to, but I could go run a gym,
Yeah.
let the money I have in the market just compound, you know,
Yeah.
assuming the world's still around then, but, it's a big assumption at this point in life,
I
so,
seriously think things are crumbling around us, so
mm, they are kinda
yeah.
They are kinda crumbling around us. Here was an interesting one. These questions are all over the board. You're on death row. I like this one started dark. And you have one last workout. What are you gonna pick?
Oh, I know what I'm gonna pick.
Oh, that quick, huh? Man.
Yeah, it's
Alright,
my
how before
favorite.
you tell me, why are you on death row? Who'd you kill?
Oh my god, I killed someone? How
No.
do you know it's that?
But you're on de why else would you be on death row? See, the only reason you can get on death row in the US is you have to kill someone.
Or you could kill lots of people.
Oh, oh, okay. Wow.
Oh my god, I don't even know who I would
Mm.
kill. I do know who I would kill, but I won't say it out loud because it would start a political firestorm on this show.
Oh my lord. Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, setting that aside, what's your last workout?
it's Glenn.
Oh, which one's Glenn? I just
It's
did
a
that one, didn't I?
You just did it. Yeah, it's a hero WOD. It's like mile run and 30 clean jerks and 10 rope
Oh, it's
climbs and
terrible. It's
100
so bad.
burpees. Yeah. It's so
Yes,
bad, but it hurts so good.
the last 100 burpees are miserable.
Yes,
They're
they are.
so bad, so
Yes.
bad.
I love that workout because it's so hard. I mean, I love hero WODs for what they stand for, and I love honoring those who have given it all in the line of duty. And I love that workout because the movements are all so difficult, but they're the kind of movements where you can always do one more. And you
Yep.
might need to rest, and it might be a really slow ass rope climb, or you might have needed 20 seconds before you picked up the barbell again. You might need to step back on your burpees instead of jump back, but you can always do one more. And I appreciate the type of workouts that really push you mentally and physically like that. That's definitely the one for me.
I smoked the second run in Glen, and I paid for it in the burpees. That was my
Mhm.
mistake. We had the way our gym is set up, so I'll say the work again, 30 clean and jerks, and it's a mile run, then, you come in, you do 10 rope climbs, another mile run, and then 100 burpees. That's the workout.
Mhm.
And we have 2 routes you can do a mile. We have one where you can come out of the gym and you run around this warehouse 3 times or 6 times. That's next to us, and it's all flat, and it's all in the sun. Or you can
Huh.
go straight out down the hill and you run downhill for a half mile and back uphill a half mile, but it's shaded,
Oof.
right? And this was middle of the day, so it was kinda warm,
Mhm.
warmish. And I did that first run out in the sun, and I was running pretty slow because it was hot, and I was not loving life. And so when I got to the second mile, I'm like, "I'm gonna run downhill to start because 'cause that'll make me feel better, and it'll be in the shade." And that part did make me feel better because I was going downhill, and I certainly picked up speed, but it was not in the shade because it was noon. And that didn't occur to me because I was having spaced out wide brain where you just can't think anymore.
Uh-huh.
And I sweated my ass off for the second half mile coming back uphill. And I did it quick. Like I did it in 7.5 or 8 minutes. Like it was a fast mile for me. And I was done. I'm like, oh, these burpees are not going to be fun. I was doing it with Tom and I had a 15 burpee lead and he still beat me by 5 or 10. It was not fun. So I
What would
debated
you
that.
do?
I don't know. I debated this one hard. It's like, it's your last workout. Do you want it to be really short or do you want to do something really long? My favorite workout without question is Murph.
Oh,
So it would
classic.
probably be that. Like that's my favorite of all the hero wads. It's my favorite from a community event. It's a lot of body weight movements and running. So it's actually pretty good for me. Like I can keep up with the big guys.
Yep.
And so I like that. And it's not so long that you hate your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even with a vest, it's an hour for me
Yep.
anyway. And without a vest, it's half that. So the other part of me is like, "Oh, just go do Fran and be done."
Mm-mm.
Because Fran makes you beg for death anyway, so maybe it'd make the
Yeah.
death sentence better. But
Actually true. That's actually true.
but yeah, I guess it'd be
Yeah.
Murph.
That's a good answer. But you know what? My other thought is like a couple summers ago, Dave, who owns the gym that I coach at, he had all the coaches write out their own quote unquote like named workout. So we could think about it and we like made like there's a workout called Niki and it's like my favorite things, things I like to do, things I like to coach, whatever. And mine was all very partner oriented. So it's like running with a partner, but you have a little rope and it's synchro toes to bar, which is one of my favorite things to do, and partner deadlifts where you're both holding on to the barbell. And
Right,
I really like that kind of stuff. If you're gonna do a partner WOD, like commit partners being the thing as
right.
opposed to you go, I go. So I guess I couldn't really have that as my answer as the death row thing because I'd be alone. Oh, unless we were on death row together, and we could do
Well,
something
maybe
like
they
that.
don't put men and women
Partner
on death
WOD.
row together, but
Maybe they would let us
it's all a
out together
fictional
for a
thing anyway.
partner WOD.
Yeah, it's all fictional anyway, so I guess we can do whatever the hell we wanna do, right?
Yeah,
Pretty interesting question, though.
it's a funny question.
I know. I like that one. What do you have on your question list? Do you have a
You know,
question?
I had one that I wanted to read out loud. It's kind of a rhetorical question, but I thought it was
Mm,
really sweet. It says, "Could Tia's baby be any more adorable? Parenthood is a good look for them." And I
mm.
just wanted to read it out loud because I thought it was sweet, and I 100% agree. Like, they look so happy, and I know that not everything on social media is always 100% true, and, like, it is just as much of a struggle to have a newborn as it is, like, wonderful and beautiful and inspiring and all those things, but I'm just really glad to see them thriving as a little family of 3.
Well, I would just say if I were the father, it'd be a cuter baby, but
Oh, you
no.
think so, huh?
No, actually, no, I don't. Because I saw a picture of Willow the other day, and she kinda looks like Shane a little bit, which is a
Yeah, oh,
really good
yeah.
look, like, really cute look for a baby, man. I was like, "Oh, man, that is a cute," and not all babies are cute, like, a lot of y'all's babies are ugly. I'm sorry, they just are, like, they are. There are a lot of ugly babies out there. It
It's
just has
true.
to be said,
I know.
and Willow it's Willow, right? It's the
She's
baby's name?
so
Yeah,
cute,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, she's totally adorable, like, really cute, and I don't know Tia at all. We've exchanged messages every once in a while, and I kinda know Shane, but not well enough that I need to suck up to him. That's a cute baby.
That is a cute baby. Do you know
It
that Matt and I were convinced that we were gonna have a hideous baby? Convinced. Because we were both like, and I'm not making this up. We were both hideous babies.
Mm. Well, maybe your next
Like,
one will be. Maybe you get lucky and the
probably.
next one will just be a little troll. Be great.
Probably. But now that I understand a parent's love in a way that I could not possibly understand it until I had lived it, I understand how if even if I have a troll baby, I'd be like, "But it's
Mm,
my troll baby and I love it and it's cute to me."
mm. I don't know if that's true. I my
Like,
first one was beautiful, like, right out of the womb, and then Megan came along, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure how this one's gonna turn out." And she
depends
ended
which
up
is an
gorgeous. Yeah, she ended up really gorgeous, and she got cute very quick. But, like, that first moment, you're just like, "Oh, wait a minute. You sure that's
Mhm.
fine? You sure
Mhm.
that one's fine?"
That was me when I was born. When I look back at really, like, newborn photos of myself, I'm like, "Oh, god, don't get close to that thing."
Yeah.
And then, like, right around 4 months, like, it happened pretty fast. Right around 4 months, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's a cute picture."
I had a funny moment with the girls this week since we're just rambling here. Or what did the guy said we do? Bantering. We're
Banter,
bantering.
quote,
Yes.
unquote, "banter," not real
Quote, unquote.
banter.
Yeah, since we're
Fake banter.
bantering, big banter.
Fanter.
The girls were in the living room talking about boy troubles,
Mm.
and my oldest was mentioning that some boy was hitting on her and how shocked she was by it, and I'm like, "I gotta have the dad talk with you guys." They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Don't what?" I'm like, "I just need to say this out loud. All boys for the rest of your lives that are your friends want to get in your pants. You just have to
Ugh.
know this. Moving forward, this is the way it is. There's no such thing as platonic friends for you guys ever again. You need to know this. They all want to sleep with you." And they're like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I think that's right." I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's right."
And I gotta be honest, it's not from here on out. It's probably been for the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, probably, but now that they're both driving and dating and doing whatever, I needed to make sure I said it at some point.
Ugh.
Well,
Man, what a harsh reality.
I mean, it's boys and girls are different, Nikki. That's the way this goes.
I
You
know.
know?
No, I know. It's true. I'm glad you had that conversation. Your girls have such good heads on their shoulders because you have never shied away from any type of conversation with them. And I really appreciate that about your parenting style.
Yeah, they're pretty sharp. They're pretty sharp, actually, and I'm kinda, like, empty nesting right now because Mira got a driver's
Mm.
license, and a car, and so I barely see these kids, either one of them.
Yeah.
It's very odd, but it's still
Is it
nice, so,
weird?
yeah, it's very weird.
Is it sad?
It's sad's not the right word. I mean, you're happy that they're living their life and being with their friends and doing what they wanna do and learning to be adults, and you do watch them learn. That's the interesting thing at this age is, like this moment of what's going on with these boys, like, they're learning, like, and
Hmm.
it seems like a lesson you'd already know, but the lesson's bigger than just that.
Hmm.
Then the discussion became, well, which of your friends that are boys are actually friends? And trying to
Hmm.
figure that out, and they were talking about what they're willing to tolerate, what they're not willing to tolerate, and the dumb things boys do, and it was a really funny conversation, but they're learning from it, and
Hmm.
so that stuff's kinda cool to see happen. There are moments though where I'll give you an example. I went to bed last night and because I'm old, I was in bed early but they were both here. And as I was going to sleep, I thought to myself how nice it was that both my girls were under the same roof.
Hmm.
and how much I missed when they were your kids' age,
Yeah.
where Megan would come in and open my door and go, "Daddy, can I get in bed with you?" And she'd climb in bed. She'd have on her little pink nightgown and her little socks.
Mhm.
And she'd climb in and she'd actually say, "Can I snuggle with you?" Which is even cuter. I know. And then at this point, you miss it because you're never gonna have that again.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
I already find myself, like, holding Hunter as he falls asleep at night and just sitting in the nursery being like, "Get up,
right.
grow up, and move." I
Yeah.
just I can't when my whole life is consumed by toddlerhood right now. I don't really ever want it to change even though it's crazy and busy and insane and stressful, like, I don't and it's sad because I feel like it's changing so
Cool.
fast.
Yep, it is. Hey, we had a second murder question
Oh
in
my
the
god.
I know, we had some dark questions
What
today.
kind of vibes are we giving off on the show?
I don't know. This was a good one, though. If there were a story about a murder mystery in a CrossFit gym, what would the title be?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I know, I had so many. I
You
had
did? You've already thought
well
about this?
I mean, like, it crossed my mind pretty quickly. I think of the things that piss people off, like, an easy one was, like, who took my spot on the rig?
I was thinking about
You know?
something with the rig, yeah.
That's almost or who got chalk on the floor? But but then that wouldn't be much of a mystery. The coach did it. Like,
Mm,
it'd
eh.
be simple to figure out.
My mind immediately went to a title that's "With the Rope by the Rig" or something kind of like
Right.
Clue-ish, like "With the Candlestick in the Conservatory."
Oh, see, that's because you 'cause you're artsy.
Yes, I'm so literary,
I know.
referencing Clue.
Yes. I'm very simple. I am very simple.
What about, like, "He signed into class, never showed up."
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be good. All right. The next question. Looking for a good shoe. I have no bulls right now. You have a
Ooh,
good shoe. No bulls are good.
yeah.
What would be your alternate? I bought some no bulls today, by the way. We can come to that
You did?
later. Yeah, I
Ooh,
did.
okay.
Just some canvas. Good canvas to walk around in. But they're
Gotcha.
always great for that.
Yeah. This is a good discussion to have because I was going back and forth with Aaliyah Miller, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago, and she's looking for new shoes. And so we were kind of going back and forth about this. Well, I wear mainly Nobles these days. So I love the Trainer Pluses. But I don't know, Matt is obsessed with those strike movement shoes that I got him to the point where I feel like I want to get myself a pair to try them out. But I'm still so ticked at their stupid return policy that I
Mm.
don't want to.
Tom raves about them. I swear to God, he's got 5 pairs
Yeah,
easily.
Matt really loves them. He really does. And he likes the rads and he likes the tiers, and he feels like they're very similar. So I'll throw that out
See,
there
I didn't
too.
think the tiers were similar to the Rads at all. If I had to give a top 3, I wouldn't have tier in my top 3. Now, to be fair, I own 1 pair of tier. I've worn them, like, twice, and I just didn't love them. 'Em. They're too light for me for some reason.
Did
Just
they
did not
rub the
love them.
backs of your heels raw?
Well, I only wore them twice, and I didn't work hard enough in them. Maybe I need to give them another shot to see if I
Ah,
feel differently
man.
about them. I
I
love the
want to love
Rads.
them, but they rub the backs of my heels raw.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Uh,
I mean, obviously, I love Rad. I've got 5 pairs of trainers and now a pair of runners, so I think they're solid. I hear the strike movement are great, and I think Under Armour, Tri-Base, Rain 5s
mhm.
are also great. If I were gonna get a shoe that didn't fall into the whole Reebok Nike camp,
Yep.
it'd be one of those 3. I think they're
Yeah.
doing really, really good work, and it'll be interesting to see. For me, I think Rad has a really good business strategy and seems to be selling a lot of shoes. So I'll be interested to see what their growth looks like over the next couple of years. If they can continue to keep the quality high and keep the buzz around their shoe. I'll be
Yeah.
interested to see if they can. I think they can. I mean, Ben seems like a pretty sharp dude, but
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Someone in my gym today had Reebok Nano X3s. I didn't know what X they were up to
right.
yet or at this point, but they looked pretty cool. And I really enjoyed I haven't had a pair since the X1s, the 11s, like whatever, Nano 11. But I've liked everything from the 8 on. So I haven't had a new pair in a while, but like 8, 9, X, X1. They've all been great.
I've never had a complaint on Reeboks. I had a bunch at one point. I mean, they sent me a bunch at one point, and I wore them for a while. I liked them fine, but when they left CrossFit, I kind of fell out of love with them and found other shoes I liked. I mean, I got on my Innovate kick for a while, but I'm really solid on Rad right now. It's
Yeah.
really not even a choice for me when I go to work out. I just grab a pair and go, and they all function the same way. Like, I'm not finding any variance from shoe to shoe, so they're great for me.
Yeah. That's honestly how I feel about Nobles right now. So,
Well, that's been the big gig against snowballs. There's no variance. They're all exactly the fucking same.
yeah. And
So,
they work for my feet. So I'm not
yeah.
complaining about that. Well, I will say that I got a pair of the new, I think, Runner Pluses, like the new
Mhm.
updated runners. And I really need like a running shoe if I'm going to do distance. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm old, my knees are creaky, I need a lot of cushion. But I had only those with me at semis. And in the mornings, I would wake up and go for a run before we worked the event. And my legs felt great.
Hmm.
I would not turn to them for something like training for this long road race that I have. I
Right.
still am wearing like my dedicated runners, but I find them a lot more comfortable than previous runners that they've made. So I feel like that's an improvement.
Wonder if I should buy a pair of runners from them. I need one more pair of shoes.
Right. I was
Uh,
going to say,
Yeah, I could always use another pair of shoes, Nick. I could always use another pair of runners because the advantage to runners is they're super comfy just to walk around in.
yeah. Well, the new
And I,
ones are pretty cool.
yeah,
They
maybe
come in some pretty neat designs. What Nobles did you just buy?
I just bought a pair of canvas, just
Like what
good old,
color?
just good old fashioned white
Oh,
canvas shoes.
okay.
They go with everything. You know what I
They
mean? You put
do.
on any
I love a white
shorts,
sneaker.
yeah, any short, any top, and you can hit the town, you know?
Hmm. And we will have shameless plug. We will have the new Nike Metcon 9s at our Battle Cancer event on Saturday
Yep.
morning? Yes,
Saturday morning at 7:30 at
7:30.
CrossFit Mojo, and then we're gonna do breakfast right after.
Yeah. So everyone should come.
You should be impressed that I remembered all those details without even looking it up.
Thank God for you because I was floating.
I could tell. I thought about hanging you out to dry there for a minute, but I was like, "Nah, nah, I'll answer it." Do you have any other questions in yours? I've kinda gone through all mine.
No, I mean I had one that says, "How do you make bread with no yeast, baking powder, or sugar?" Which I have no
W
answer for. I would just have to do some intense Googling.
Wait, ask it again, I can answer this.
How do you make bread with no yeast, baking powder, or sugar?
They're called biscuits.
Okay.
They're called biscuits, and you get flour and lard and buttermilk, and you put them in a little
Delicious.
you mix them up for a short period of time, you put them in little dollops, and you stick them in the oven at, whatever the temp I forget the temp now, 350, maybe 375 for
Sounds right.
15 minutes or so.
That sounds right.
Yeah, they're called biscuits, that's what that bread's called.
Hmm.
That's what at least
You
that's
eat
what's
them? You eat them with
oh,
grits.
you eat so many of them with butter and jam and bacon.
Delicious.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. There is
I've been on
nothing.
this English muffin kick.
Oh, I always am.
Yeah, I know it's nothing new for me, but I've been having like 3 a day. Maybe I should cool. Maybe that's why I'm not in the shape to be in these
Maybe.
days.
When do you get to Madison?
Tuesday.
Oh, you'll be there before me. Sweet.
Mhm.
Alright, so you get there
Tuesday.
Tuesday, I'll be there Wednesday. We're going to do a meet and greet at some point for Tupood. I just don't know
Yes.
when.
Yes.
So once you get your schedule, let me know and we'll coordinate it with Tupood and I'll shoot it out for everyone so they know so they can swing by the Tupood. We'll have shirts, our belts will be there, our patches will be there, which will be fun.
Yeah, and I'm
Um,
excited. If you haven't seen the Community Over Everything designs, those are our favorites that Two
yep,
Boot has made for us recently. You can buy them online before games if you want to
you can.
get them and wear them on the plane as you get
Yes.
to Madison. Highly recommend. Link in both of our bios. But
Yep.
yeah, that'll be really fun. Honestly, like I love the work that I get to do at games, but my all-time favorite part is meeting people who listen to the show and just like talking to them in real life because I feel like I have a lot of internet friends and then I get
Yep.
to meet them in real life and I'm like, "Oh, we meeting for the first time because I definitely feel like I know you." And also it's my favorite because like again, Matt doesn't listen to the show and I think sometimes he thinks I make it up that other people listen to the
Right.
show. So truly games is one time a year where he's, I guess people like do listen to you sometimes. I
Hmm.
guess. And then he like forgets, like we go home and he forgets and we get back to games and he's like, like know who you are sometimes.
Well, for anyone listening, I'll also be doing a kind of a meet and greet at Barbell Voodoo at noon on Thursday. I'm going to have new merch with them. I'm doing the tie-dyed shirt with the big M logo, MWGA logo. That looks like a former music TV show that I probably
Love.
shouldn't say or I'll get sued for copying them. So I'm doing that Thursday and I'm gonna have some patches with me. And then on Friday, 12 o'clock at Assault Bike, I'm doing a activation for them. I don't even know what we're doing yet. Probably riding the bike some, see how beat Willie at calories and you'll win a prize. But I'm gonna give patches away there too. So if you want to make Watch Grading and patch, you gotta come find me at one of those two places.
Yes.
And it'll be fun. It'll be good stuff.
Yay.
Yeah. So it should be
I'm
fun.
excited. I'm going to start packing now.
When you get spray tanned.
Okay. So Monday afternoon. And so Monday night I'll sleep in my little
Right.
cocoon.
You like how I know you so well that I didn't even ask if you were going to. I just knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know
Of
what date.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
part of the routine. You can ask me when I'm getting my bikini wax.
Oh, well, it felt a little personal. That's between you and Matt. I don't need to
Well, I
know.
mean, the answer is I don't know yet, so I would
Mm.
have had one, but
Do you really
it'll be
do
in
you
May.
do that for a trip to the games?
Well, I mean, you kind of as a girl, if that's a thing you do, you
Is
kinda do
it?
it, like, on the reg
Mm.
or
Is it
what,
is it like
but, like,
is it is it
yeah,
like one of those
usually
things
kind of a
like
thing.
I know it's a grooming thing, that's a terrible way to put it, but is
That's
like
fine.
I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. Is it like going to if you went to a spa and got a facial and it just makes you feel better about yourself? Is it
Hmm.
like that kind of experience or is it a different thing altogether?
Not different because it's
Is
only
it?
painful. It only
Is it?
blows. Yeah, it only sucks. That's how I feel about it. It's like, it only sucks that I have to do this at all. It's only shitty.
Man.
But the alternative is worse. Shaving is worse. Depends on who you talk to, but for me personally, it's worse
Oh,
because it just is,
alright.
like, irritating and not fun. When you, like, shave your face too much and you get, like, all those, like,
Mm.
really uncomfortable bumps, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, but on your bikini line, that sucks. It's not
Yeah.
fun.
I shave a lot of,
You get it. You get it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody likes ingrown hairs. They're
Mm.
sensitive.
Way different end of the podcast conversation than I was expecting, so,
Ah, well, if you ever maybe next time we'll start the podcast with this conversation.
yes. Kettlebells and bikini waxes. That's what we'll start calling the show.
Once a
It's a good
month.
stuff. Alright. Well, I'm excited to see you. Make sure Matt has my number, would you?
Yeah, I definitely will.
I think he does, but make sure he's got my number so we can hook up. And I need another
Mhm.
picture with the baby because I had one last year, so we need to do a duplicate.
The before and after is gonna be insane.
I know I probably won't be able to pick him up, it'd be so big. So,
No,
that'll
you
that'll
can
be
still.
good.
He's still just a nugget.
Okay. Well, you say that now, but I definitely want the before and after because I still
For
have the
sure.
before on my phone. It'll be great.
For
Be fun
sure.
stuff. All right. Well, good times as always. And for everyone listening, we hope to see you guys in Madison. But if we don't, we'll still talk to you guys next week. Take care.